Hello. Today I'd like to build a battery holder for my Eufy robotic vacuum cleaner. The previous battery died on my Eufy. It's kind of a weird name, but that's the name of the vacuum cleaner. Here's my vacuum cleaner, okay? And I have the battery sitting right here. I removed the battery, and I have to build a battery pack that fits inside of there. I just took out the previous battery pack, so I measured this battery pack with my calipers, and I came up with these dimensions. So let me turn on my calipers. So we got, make sure there's no metal, otherwise you could create a spark. So we got 70 millimeters by 70 by 37 by 37. All right, so that's what I'll build my battery holder to. And I built this previously, and I wanted to do a comparison of 3 CAD systems. Okay, so I built this first piece and it was a little bit too small. So what I need to do is I need to take an 18650 battery, and I need to be able to put this inside of here, and 4 of them need to be connected to this, and I want to have a bolt that goes through the very bottom and connects to the very top, and then I can tighten it down. So that's my idea. I will only build one side of this today in the software. So first software I will do is Onshape. Second software will be SolidWorks. The third software will be NX student version. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so I'm going to create a brand new document in Onshape. This is Onshape, the free subscription, and this only allows public data. So I'm going to create document. Battery holder 1. All right, I'm going to hide a couple of these views here. We can either click on it, left click, right click, and hide the top view, or we can go over here and click this little eyeball. That's one way to get rid of it too. I have a space mouse, which allows me to rotate around, and if you want to, you can use your middle mouse button to do a pan. So click down that, and that will do a pan. And then you can do a rotate by clicking on the third mouse button, that guy right there. He will do a pan, or he will do a rotation. And then the last one will do like a selection. Okay, so, and if you ever get your orientation all goofed up, just click over here, click on front, and we get right back into the normal view. Okay, so yeah, and then your scroll will be able to zoom in and out. So yep, you can see that. All right, here we go. So I will build my size. It's going to be 37 by 37. So we're going to create a sketch here on front, and we are going to create a box. We're going to stick, we'd like to build it from center. That's always a good idea. So let's see, we could do a center point triangle rectangle. Let's undo Control Z. Let's do a center point rectangle. Here we go. And everything is off of the center. It's always a good way to start. So now we're going to start dimensioning. So we can go here to here, and then we're going to call this 37. Here to here, 37. Okay, and that's to see, this is totally black now. Black means it's totally constrained. Okay, so now I'm using my right mouse button to rotate that. So rotate it around and take a look, and now I'm going to extrude this out. Okay, now the thickness of this piece, I think I wanted about 5 millimeters. So I'm going to click on this guy right here, and we're going to extrude him 5 millimeters. Okay, there we go. We created our first geometry. So now we're going to add the circles in there. So let's add the dimension for the 18650 battery. Truly, it's supposed to be 18 millimeter round. And yeah, we got 18.6 on my calipers here. So I know it's back. I know it's upside down, but so 18.6. So I'm going to build it just a little bit bigger because I think my 3D printer is going to make this small. So 18 let's think. 18.8 sounds like a good idea for me. All right, so let's build this at 18.8, and then we're going to build 4 circles, but first we'll just build one, okay? So let's go with the first circle. So we need a new sketch on this top surface right here, and then we're going to place this right here. We're going to just drop a circle here, okay? And what we can do now is we can hit our front view, get it flattened, we can zoom in, and then we go over here to D dimension and take our dimension from here to here, and I'll figure that out in a second. I'm going to put my other dimension in there first. Hit enter, get out of that. And then we're going to choose this guy right here. So it's 18.8. So that's important number to add. All right. So now our distance here should be half of that. So we should do 18.8 divided by 2. And then we're going to have to do it again right there. Another dimension from here to here. Here to here, okay, and then that's going to be that 18.8 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2, okay, there we go. And now we can see it's just slightly out of there. That should be okay. That's we're not going to go through this entirely. We are going to just extrude this. We're going to remove some material, but not the entire material, so it's still going to have some support on the back side, okay. So let's go back to our front, click on front, get back into there. So let's we can do an extrusion of this. I think that might be a good idea, or we could duplicate this. All right, so let's keep building this. All right, so if we want to do a mirror this here, we want to create a line from the center. Okay, hit L to get out of that. L is to start it and L is to finish it too. So, and then we're going to make this a construction line, so that way it won't be extruded when we extrude this circle. So let's hit construction, okay? Space bar to get out of that. And now we're going to go over here to mirror. So we're going to click on a mirror. We're going to select a mirror line right here. Then we're going to select the entities to be mirrored, and we are done. So now let's get out of the mirror. Let's create one more line. Create a line from the dead center again. And we're going to go either way. It doesn't matter. Hit L to get out of that. And we're going to change this to the construction line. So that's Q to get in there. Space bar to get out of that. And now we're going to grab both of these and mirror both of those. So grab the mirror, grab this guy, or actually the line I want to mirror about, then this guy, and kind of goofed. So let's take a look and see what happened. All right, that center point was off, so no problem. We'll fix that. So I'm going to go over here and on Control Z, and I'm going to move this right over there. And now it's black and it's constrained fully. So that's cool. That's what we want. Let's go back to mirror. Let's choose our mirror line and our 2 circles to mirror. There we go. Now we're good. All right. So now we can say, okay, we can finish the sketch, okay, out of that sketch. So now we have our 4 circles, our 18650 cells should fit in there. Now we're going to do an extrude, and we will extrude and remove the material here. So I don't want that one. I think we can hit shift to get rid of that. Yep, click on that guy, and this guy. And let's just do new. They're all going to be brand new, okay? And we will click on, okay. So now we can see that they're built. Let's reverse those. We're going to take them down. So we're going to do like a -3. Okay, so now we're going to try to subtract these out. So we're going to go to Boolean. We're going to do subtract. We're going to choose our target, which is this guy. And we're going to choose our parts. So tool, 2. Look, it's showing me a preview. 3, okay, 4, 3, and 5, okay. So those are the 4 pieces inside of here. Notice that it's giving me some red areas that show that it is not wanting to subtract this because there is a interference and they're actually touching it. It's going to leave like a very, very thin wall, and it doesn't want to leave a thin wall. So what I can do is I can actually go in here and I'll delete this Boolean. So I will blank this. So click on this right here, and we can go over here to part 1. We could hide. So that gets rid of part 1. So what I would say is let's make these a teeny tiny bit larger or smaller so that they will be subtracted from that other piece. So we're going to try to make these guys a little bit bigger. So what we could do is we go back into our original sketch and we're going to make these 18.8. We're going to change this to 18.85. Notice how this one grew a little bit. And the other ones, oh, it looks like all of them grew. I think they're all good. So now let's go to subtract, Boolean, subtract. Let's show that part again. We're going to go to the tools. Sorry, we're going to go to target. Click on this guy. Now we're going to go to tools. We can click on 2, 3, each one of these. Notice it's still having an issue with this area right here. So we got to go back and fix that again. So let's go back into that sketch. All right, so let's make this a little bit bigger. We can Control Z to get out of that. Let's make this 18.9. Now we're going to go back into our Boolean. We're going to go back to my tools. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Still hitting hard. Doesn't like that. Let's go back to Boolean. We're going to subtract. Actually, here's what we can do. And here I hide part 1. Then I delete the extruded 2. Let's try that from the beginning again. Alright, so now we will extrude this sketch. So let's go to extrude. Let's click on solid, new, and then sketch itself. And then we want to take it the opposite way. We want to do about 3 millimeters. Okay. So now we have 4 new pieces. And oh, it merged. So I didn't want to add, I want to make new. Okay, so now we have 2 parts. And now I can go to union, subtract. Our target is this guy. Our tool is this guy. And there we are. So that's our first piece, okay? See this orange right here? To get out of that, we hit our space bar. So now we have our size of it. So now we have the holder for the batteries to go in. And now I want to put like a hex size nut on the very back of it. So what I should probably do first is go to a website where I may order this from. You know, Lowe's and Home Depot won't have all of the information needed for this bolt size, but I have found a location that would. So let's go to a website to see that. So to find the size of this nut that I need, I will go with, first I want to find the bolt that I need. So let's go and find what bolt I need. So the total height of this battery, I need to be about 73 millimeters, okay? So I need a bolt that is at least 70 millimeters. So let's go with 70. So this is where I found the length of this bolt is 70. Let's go back one. So to find this size of this bolt or screw that we need, let's go to McMasterCar.com. This is an American website. And we go to socket head screws. You can use other screws if you want to. This is just one I'm choosing for my reference. All right, so, and I want to go over here and go to metric. And then I want to look for something that is at least 70 millimeters long. So let's scroll down here. What size can I get that allows me to go to 70? So a lot of these, this M2.6, it doesn't go to 70. We have an M3 that goes to 70, and that's the max. So let's keep looking down. Looks like we could do M4 very easily. We can go greater than that, but let's try M3. So if you want to go M3, 70 millimeters here, it's going to be partially threaded. That's fine. So it tells me the pitch is 0.5. Okay. So we're going to go to this guy right here. We're going to click on that guy right there. Okay. And this is fairly expensive, $4.26 each bolt. So you could probably order these from Amazon or something. But anyway, here's something cool we can do. We can download 3D and we can do a step model with no threads. We don't need threads because we don't need to subtract out any threads or anything like that. So let's hit download on that guy. So it is downloading that, and now I can find the nut that fits this. So M3. So we go over here, we got the metric. I'm on McMaster-Carr still, so I'm going to go M3. Here we go. And then I'm just going to go with whichever one is cheaper, because it doesn't have to have any strength or anything like that. Okay, and then I can go over here and I can download this. So this is 3D step with no threads. So we can download that one. That way we can see the size of this. Okay, so now let's get out of this screen. Let's go back to our thing right here. Let's do a file import of that spacebar to get out of that. If we want to hide this plane now, we can just left click, right click, and hide that plane. Okay, so now we want to put a recess, a small hole inside the back of here. We want to put a hexagonal hole back here. So what I will do is I will import that nut and see what size that is first. So file, and there's my nut right there. Okay. So I'm just going to import, and it just appeared right here. So this is my size of the nut. Okay. And if I want to measure that, I go down here, this will measure tape right here. Click on this, and then click on the left side, and click on the right side, and the size of that is 5.5. So let me left click, right click, let me left click, right click, it's blue, and then I'll go back to my other guy right over here. So down here, click on this guy. So I need smallest size, 5.5. I gotta account for shrinkage of the plastic, so we'll make that 6. So let's create a sketch on this back surface here. And then we'll go over here to create a inscribed polygon. We can click on this guy right here. Let's click on the inscribed polygon, then this guy, and it's going to be, I think, 6-sided. And we could just click anywhere, and we can adjust this as we want. So I believe it's 6 sides, and then this here is, we'll change that. Escape to get out of that. And then we can say inscribed size. Let's go to this dimension right here. We're going to click right there, and we're going to put in that, and then we're going to put in 6. Okay, so let's do a back view. Look on the back and see where this fits. Looks like it fits in there nicely. It's barely, it doesn't look like it touches those, which is good. And now I can get out of the sketch, and I can recess that. So now I don't know the depth of this. Let me cancel that. Extrude again. We're going to click on this face only, reverse it. We're going to remove it from part 1. Okay. Okay. We're going to get rid of that one. Yeah, it's already on part 1, so we're good. So, and then we're going to go down probably 3 millimeters. Okay. Let's see what the thickness of this guy is. We're going to go back to our threads. We will go back to our measure. Top. Rotate. Bottom. We are at 2.4 millimeters. All right, so 3 millimeters should be just fine. Go back here, and we said already 3 millimeters. We're good. Okay. So now we need a hole inside of there to allow for our M3 bolt to go through. So let's go back to sketch. We're going to create a sketch on this area right here, and we're going to create a hole using this point right here, our origin point. And we are going to just, we can drag and we just drop it. And then I think Control Z to undo that. And then we'll dimension that. I thought we could just click on that, but it's not going to let us. So M3 bolt is approximately 3 millimeters in diameter. The threads should be 3 millimeters. So let's make this 3.5. Okay. Say okay. Go back view. Let's make sure this is totally centered. No. It did not center properly. I thought it was stuck on there, but it's not. So let's go back in that sketch. Double click on that sketch. Let's get back inside of there, and let's make this one and this one concentric. So let's click on this guy, and then we'll click right here to coincident. not concentric. So it's complaining to me, and to get rid of this complaint, all I gotta do is click on this guy right here, and I click delete, and it got rid of that one constraint. That was a constraint that was fighting. It was stuck to this this line right here, so I just told it not to be stuck to that anymore. So now it's we got that circle inside of there now. Now we'll go over here to extrude. We'll take this little circle right here, and we can extrude it all the way to the opposite side, flip it. We can remove part 1 and say okay, and there we are. So I like to make these, you know, make them quick, 3D print them, see if they're going to fit. Before you put all kinds of radii on here and beautification things, you know, I could, yeah, if you want to save a tiny bit of plastic, you can put a little radius, you know, some radiuses here. But as far as radiuses all around the part and making it pretty, I mean, I do that at the final stage. That's, so this is you know, I'll make a chamfer for a lead in, you know, the battery gets in there a little easier, maybe a chamfer on the back edge right here. But for now, I just want to get this done quick and dirty, and I don't have a whole lot of extra commands and steps inside of my tree. So this is kind of like a bare bones tree. So afterwards, you know, once I find out that this is perfect and everything fits properly, my, you know, screw and bolt fit in there properly, nothing's hitting, then that's when I'll, you know, make this better. You know, I'll go in and clean it up and make some chamfers and radii and smooth it out and make it look pretty. So anyway, that's how you build this battery holder with Onshape. Like I said, I will be doing this with 2 other CAD systems. So next, I will be building this in SolidWorks, and then finally I will be building this in NX. So it's a Siemens NX student version. So, all right, if you want to see which version I prefer the best, after all of this, I'll try to give the pros and cons of each one at the end. And as you can see, the time involved in making this. So, and then the little intricacies, you know, the little difficulties that I had with this, you can see, you know, what difficulties I have, and as a new person it may be even more difficult because you're learning everything. This software is fairly robust, but still has this little issues and things. So if you like this type of content, let me know, send me a comment, and yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks.